meditation, so focusing on the sound of these special purifying transcendental mantras. So maybe you might have an idea of sitting in a cave in quiet meditation, but the process we're doing here is much easier than that. So these sounds, they're not ordinary sounds, they're very purifying sounds, and they've been handed down through this yoga system that we follow here. In this situation, we'll use instruments, but you actually don't need to use instruments. So I'll start, and then it sort of goes back and forth, like a call and response. And so you, yeah. And we're going to have a guided relaxation shortly as well. So, all right. Okay. And I'll start off just with a couple of prayers, just offering respects to my spiritual teachers. So. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Saraswarapananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Govakta Vrindam. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Your turn. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 Gopala Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 Haribo Nitai Go Nitai Go Haribo Haribo Nitai Go Haribo Haribo Nitai Go Haribo 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 Nitai Go Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaur. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala. Together. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Together again. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. One more time, nice and loud. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Cool. Thank you, everyone. So that's mantra meditation. Very simple form of meditation, just focusing on the sound of these mantras. Oftentimes we choose to use instruments because it kind of makes it fun. We're naturally drawn to music, but you actually don't need music. You can just focus on the sound of the mantras if you are at home, just sing along. Okay, so I'd like to invite Amir. So we're going to do a guided session now. So, all right.
Hi, Romm. Namaste, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So I just see a couple of new faces. If you guys would like to do a meditation class with us, we have a class in a couple of weeks' time, Sunday, not next Sunday, the one after at 2:30. And that's a free course. So if you would like to attend, feel free to jump on Facebook and register. All right. So our mindfulness today, the theme is around loneliness. So please sit in a very comfy position for me. Very relaxed, shoulders back, heads upright. And gently close your eyes, please. Our mindfulness today is about loneliness and how to overcome it. We have all experienced loneliness. And indeed, we do experience loneliness oftentimes. Why? I'm having all these friends and family, relatives, colleagues that I speak to and hang out with. I'm going to parties and gatherings, socialize with people and stuff, go to different events. Why is that I keep feeling lonely in the core of my heart? What's the reason? First of all, when we do feel lonely, the first solution that comes to our mind is to hang out with other people, looking for more bodies to hang around with, because we think we are our bodies. We are looking for more bodies to overcome our loneliness. We think this is our body which is lonely, but that's not true. Reason why we keep failing to overcome our loneliness is that we are misidentifying who we are. We are not our bodies. According to medical sciences, every 5 to 7 years, nearly all the molecules in our body get replaced with the new ones. Meaning, the body I was having 7 years ago is indeed dead today. But I am not. I keep existing. We should all ask ourselves, Am I really my body? You can just very briefly bring in mind one of the photographs of you when you were a baby. Most of us do have some photographs of back then. So just bring in mind one of those photographs and remember that cute baby body of yours. A cute face, a tiny body, those little arms, small fingers. That body is actually dead today. But we are not. We keep existing. I'm not my body. Then who am I? This will challenge the whole foundations based on which I have planned my life and designed my goals. I now need to know who I really am. Am I my mind? That's what some of us think. Not the body, maybe I'm my mind. We often say my mind's driving me crazy. What the hell is that? If I'm my mind, why don't I have control over it? We are not our mind either. We are the silent observer of the content of the mind. Who am I then? Who has the answer for me? Let me know. The Vedic scriptures have the answer for us. According to those scriptures, who I really am is I am and you are and we are all effulgent, eternal, spiritual beings, unborn and therefore undying, ever existing. That's who we really are. This is just a quick episode of our life, our eternal life in this earth world, in this planet. We are living in this world through the avatar of this body we are given and this wonderful computer called mind that we are given. Body and the mind are only vehicles I'm using to be able to interact with this material world. My body will die one day, but I won't. Going back to the theme of our mindfulness today, why do you feel lonely? Why do I feel lonely so many times, despite having association of so many so-called bodies? Reason is misidentification of ours. We are not the bodies. Therefore, hanging around with other bodies is not going to solve the issue of loneliness. What does help us overcome our loneliness is to reunite with our very source and essence, with the best body of our real identity, spiritual being, that reservoir of pleasure and spiritual energy. That true reunion can allow us to truly beat and defeat our loneliness. These wonderful mantras we are chanting tonight, earlier on, Gopala, Govinda, Rama. Right now, we're going to chant Gauranga. And later on, more mantras, Haribol, Krishna. These are not ordinary material sound vibrations. These are spiritual sound vibrations, highly potent. By chanting these mantras, we experience union with our spiritual source and essence. Forget about loneliness and experience the wonderful transcendental happiness for which we have always longed. So now we are going to actually chant one of these beautiful mantras called Gauranga. Gauranga has four syllables. Gauranga. And what it means is the golden Lord of love. So in the next few minutes, what we are going to do is just to inhale, and on the exhale, join the guys in the background, repeating mantra Gauranga on our exhale. Let's listen to these guys one more time, and on the second mantra, we are going to join them. All right, let's join. Take deep breath in. Let's do 2 more. All right, guys, keep your eyes closed. And without repeating, just let the mantra resonate in your head and your mind, and to wash away all the worries and anxieties you might be holding in your mind and your heart. All right, guys, please bring your focus back to the room, where you are, people around you, objects around you. And you can gently open your eyes now, putting your palm together, creating some nice warmth, and massaging your face. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us in this mindfulness practice. I now would like to invite our dear friend Tadat Manalas to come and give us a wonderful lecture on spirituality. Haribo.
Hey, hello everyone, welcome. Before we talk a little bit, we'll do a small chant, we'll see how we go. We'll do Garanga, Om Hari Om, and probably Gopala Govinda Rama. Gora Anga Om Hari Om. Om Hari Om Hari Om. Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana So usually at this time of the evening, we talk a little bit on the principles of the yoga path that we're employing in our life, and on occasion we put it out to you guys. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask a question if you may have something. If not, you'll just get a monologue. Good to have questions. I mean, everyone has a, you know, none of us can remember perfectly what we once knew. It has to be reawakened. It's like a sleep. The knowledge we have of ourselves and our eternal position and function goes to sleep when we're in this world. It gets distracted by so many other things. It's just endless, the amount of distractions that present themselves before us in this world. Excuse me. Yeah. So if you have a question, feel free to ask. I'll give you 30 seconds. All right, then, it's the monologue. What happens? You know, people come to spiritual life for varying reasons. in reality, your spiritual life is extremely simple. There's nothing complex. You exist you exist, right? Everyone in this room acknowledges the fact they exist. Okay? Yeah? Good. So there's not an origin in a sense to your existence, but there's a reason why you're existing. Because you're eternal, there's no origin to your existence. You weren't suddenly brought into being at a certain point in time. The body you have was, but you, the living being who's using that body, have always been and always will be. There's never been a time when you have not been. How's that? So that's how, when you think about it, you think, gosh, well, how come I've forgotten? How come I'm not remembering perfectly? You may get glimpses of it through the course of your life, a glimpse of our internality may come into your mind or your heart or to you personally. It's not a hard thing to understand that you are separate or different from your body. It's like Amir was pointing out, you look at the baby body and the activities you had in that body when you were there all those years ago. It was very real to you. There's no doubt you were there experiencing it. Otherwise you wouldn't have the memory today, right? It's not that every morning a new self comes into being. No. It's that there's a constant self, there's a constant awareness that I exist. You existed then, right, all those years ago, and the same you is existing in this room today. The habits you have may have changed. Obviously the toys you were playing with at that time are different, Now they're computers and phones and cars and da-da-da-da-da-da. They're more realistic, they're what we call more real things, They're not even really real. But my point being is that if you're aware that you are consciously existing now at this point in time, and you have memories that you're existing in a very small body when you're very young, your early memories, then look down the thread of that life, that consciousness, right back to that young body. And you've been the same all the time. Situations around you change, your body changes, your mentality will change according to the age of your body. But there's a constant awareness that I have existed all the time. Otherwise I wouldn't have been aware of those changes. Practically every year of your life, if you sit long enough, you can remember some outstanding event, something that stands out for you. You may need a little prompt here and there. You go through the photo albums, that's what they're about, right? All the pictures taken back, spanning many years, I saw this old picture my mother left me when she passed away. She left a few pictures and I picked this one, and there I am you guys know who Davy Crockett was? Davy Crockett was the frontiersman in North American history. He wore this hat, furry raccoon hat with a tail sticking down the back. And my mum made me one out of false fur. And I thought I was a legend. Apparently I was 3 years old, and I've got this Davy Crockett hat on. And I remember it. I remember playing with the damn thing and making guns out of sticks and things like that. I was there. And now I'm here talking to you guys. It's the same me. There's no difference. However, the body is subjected to time, isn't it? The childhood body grew into a boy's body, and that grew into an adolescent body, a young adult's body. And now I'm going down the far side of the hill because I'm heading into old age. Body's 70 years old now. You think, my God, where did it go? What happened? But it's nothing to do with me. It's just a natural occurrence. Birth, disease, old age, and then death. And that's the cycle. This is samsara, the wheel of birth, disease, old age, and death. and it's rolling along like this, and we get stuck on it, kind of like a bit of dog poo on the bottom of your car tire. We have no choice. We get pulled into the next turn of the wheel, pulled into the next turn of the wheel. And if we get our act together, you can jump off. It's not you doing it, but you can get off. Two things will pull you back to samsara. One is your desires and one is your karma. Two things ensure you enter the womb of another mother, be it human or not. According to your desires and according to your karma, you take on your next body. This is pointed out in the Bhagavad Gita very clearly. But, you know, the problem is that you're just going to get caught by that body. You'll take birth maybe into your new body, and the same thing happens, you know. Say you take birth as a human being again, male or female, it's insubsequential, it doesn't matter, because you're neither. If you're in a female form, don't think of yourself as being a female. That's erroneous. If you're in a male form, it's the same deal. We should not, you know, you don't think you're a male. Because I'm not this body. You're not that body you're in. You're the eternal spark of life temporarily using it. And one day it will wear out or get broken somehow, maybe a car hits it or whatever, and you're forced to leave. This is known as death, when you have to leave your body behind. And where you go is uncertain. There's no guarantee, although there can be. In the yoga process, we try and guarantee our future. We try and learn that process by, how do I jump off this samskara, this wheel of birth, disease, old age and death? How do I get off it? Yeah. So, like I said in the beginning, it's not a complex thing. You don't have to join anything or quit anything. All you have to do is realize that you exist eternally, and that the origin you're springing from is also existing eternally. And there's a way of reuniting. The English word yoke comes from the word yoga, the Sanskrit word yoga. It means link up, dovetail, come together in love. So real yoga is when you, the soul, reconnect with the Supreme Soul in love. In this world which is full of distractions, it is very difficult to do it by your own power. In fact, it's practically impossible. You know, we may think, I can do. You know, you can. It's like those days. You know, you have quite a heavy spiritual realization. Maybe, you know, you're cruising through your life, and then you realize how you are not your body, or how you are eternal by nature. But then you'll find, if you have no support to that realization, you'll find that it gets dull again, because you have to deal with your body, you have to deal with the world. You've got to go and get some food ready for yourself to the shops, and then old Mrs. Brown's talking to you up in the shops about her hassles in life, and you know, you get pulled away. You get pulled away. But whatever it may be. Maybe your body gets sick. That distracts you. I mean, you know, this is the nature of this world. It's like that. It's like this my stupid body I've got on is getting 70, is getting older, and you know, so medication's required sometimes, and then there's side effects of the medication. You know, one of them being that it gives me a horrible cough. So it interferes with my chanting, and I have to weigh up. Okay, no, try and find a way to chill the cough out. That's what I'll do. And so you know, I'm distracted by that. But What changes, though, is the reason you do stuff in this world. The reason I would want to cue my cough is so I can carry on chanting and talking. Because at the moment it's rather difficult. I really have to focus on how I breathe just to do it. You understand? So because my reason is tuned in or dovetailed or linked up to the spiritual, then it's okay. It's a part of your spiritual life. In other words, you can turn your normal life, and it's all about the reason you're doing what you're doing. Who am I doing what I'm doing for? Am I doing it for myself, my own selfish desires? Or am I doing it to please someone? So therefore, what I'm trying to come to the point of is that spiritual life really is a relationship between you and your best friend, who has always been there, always. This best friend is known as Paramatma. It's one of the names. It means that the Lord in the heart who sits within the heart of your body along with you in your body. This expansion of the divine that is always with you. It's not you. It's like two birds sitting on a tree. Huh? I'm one bird and my best friend is the other bird. I don't know whether the fruit of the tree is poisonous or good for me. But if I have the intelligence to at least turn and say, ask my friend, oh, should I be eating this? In other words, should I be doing this action? Yeah, I have that trust in my friend. No, this fruit is poison. Don't partake. Or, yes, take this fruit. In other words, we move through life and sometimes we don't know how to act or how not to act, right? So we turn to this aspect of the divine that is within the heart of all of us. It's that, sometimes it's described, it's like, that little voice when you've got a big decision to make and you kind of know the answer and it was real, but you did something else and you realized down the track, damn it, I already knew the answer and I decided to act differently. We've all done it, at some time in our existence. We all do that, So it's tuning into that aspect of the divine that is all around us. It is within, without, everywhere. And there's a harmony in it. Now, Krishna himself appears as Lord Chaitanya and he says, my dear friends, you're all flapping away in this material energy and I love you very much, but I'm sad you're not with me. You're too distracted. So here, take my names. And if you say my names, it will bring you to a point of realization about yourself and me, your relationship with me. My names will wash away all the material contamination that is inhibiting you from seeing me. How's that? So this is what I'm saying. It's very simple. You exist, the divine exists. The divine is appearing as name, as sound vibration, as mantra. And if you chant this sincerely from the core of your heart, you can expect a very amazing result. And you don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to not believe it. It's not about that. If you apply it, it will just happen. And the analogy I always like to use is kind of like if you're very cold on a winter's morning and it's a clear day, right? And you're shivering a bit. But then the sun comes up and it's coming through your window and it's warming up. But if you sit in that sunlight, it will warm your body. It's just automatic. You don't have to believe it or not believe it. It's just a byproduct of taking the trouble to sit in the sunlight. So if you take the trouble to chant the names of the Supreme, then there will be a result from that. And it's always extremely positive. It's a wonderful result. It gives you the happiness you're looking for. You never feel lonely. You never feel unhappy, really. Things will still happen in the world, but now you have this shelter that no one sees except you. Yeah? So you take that, you live with it. You live your life under that shelter. So that's what chanting's about. All right, I can't go on too much longer. I think they're... Well, how much time we got out there? 10 minutes? Oh, I do have a little while. Is there any questions up to this point? It's a very difficult 20 minutes. We try and have to reach in there and give you something worthwhile to take. But if you reflect on these ideas, and more importantly, if you act on it, if you can understand that by myself I'm not all powerful, at least realize that about yourself. This material energy is much more powerful than I am. After all, it's distracted me from my original position, that's for sure. It pulls you in, and it uses your 5 senses to completely hoodwink you. You have your tongue, you have your nose, you have your eyes, you have your ears, you have your sense of touch. And Maya, or the illusory energy of this world, works on those. That's her battlefield. That's how she keeps you distracted from your real purpose, your real consciousness. She throws all this stuff at you. Yeah. The tongue, you know. It's causing me trouble now. Because my body's old, I haven't realized completely my metabolism's only moving at about a quarter of the speed it used to. But I'm eating the same amount. So it's starting to expand. Oh, God, I've got to worry about that. Then because of the extra weight, your heart's sort of tripping out. So the senses can cause you all kinds of problems, uncontrolled sense enjoyment. You're meant to be a master of your mind and you're a master of your senses, not a slave, not a servant. Not when your senses are calling. Oh, yes, I'll go and serve you, my dear. Whatever sense is calling. It causes all kinds of distractions. All right, so chanting itself is all you need. You don't need me. You don't need the Australian School of Meditation. But you do need some shelter, some protection in this world. And we're saying very clearly, the holy names of the Lord are all you need. And it doesn't matter where you're coming from in life. If you're a Muslim, fine. They have many names of the Supreme. Wonderful names of the Supreme in that path. If you're from the Christian background, which a lot of us are, they also have many wonderful names of the Supreme. But I personally like to chant the names my spiritual master has given me, which are the names that we're chanting here. Not out of preference, it's simply that, and not even thinking. It's like Lord Chaitanya has told us, "Oh my Lord, you have hundreds and millions of names, and each and every one of them is invested with all of your transcendental energies." Yeah? There are not even any hard and fast rules for chanting these names. You don't have to be anyone in particular. It gives hope to us all, right? We think, okay, I can go out and chant these names and it's okay. You know? It gives us great hope. There's no hard and fast rules. That's right. You can be having a shower and you can be chanting Krishna, Krishna, or Jehovah, Jehovah, whatever you choose, Allah, Allah. It's fine. No problem. No problem at all. You cannot contaminate the names of the Supreme. It's like the sun. You can't contaminate the sun. Yeah? Rather, the names of the Supreme will purify you. They burn away the coverings, the negative coverings over the heart and the mind. So you begin to see things more and more as they are, not as they appear to be in this world. In other words, the illusory veil of this world starts to lift, and you begin to see things more clearly. This is the nature of chanting over a period of time. And finally, you see your eternal connection with the divine. You see the divine face to face, the most wonderful of all living beings, the supreme living being, who has always loved you and has never stopped loving you, even though you've forgotten, The Supreme has never forgotten you. Krishna never forgets anyone. All right, so with that on board, let's have a wee chant. Okay, thank you. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana, Mohana. 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Let's all do it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's do one more. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol. All right, guys. What we do now, we can eat some dinner or have something to eat, and then after about half an hour, we'll come back to chanting and finish the evening with just chanting all the way through to about 8 o'clock. So, okay. Haribol.
Some Kirtan meditation. So for those of you who are new, Kirtan is the practice of hearing and chanting spiritual sound vibrations. So we do call and response, where I say the mantra once, and then you can listen and immerse your mind and your heart in the mantra, and then it's your turn to say the mantra back to me. And sometimes we do sing-along, but I let you know when we do sing-along. By default, we do call and response. So if you don't know the mantras, the mantra sheets are over there. So feel free to grab one on that shelf next to the clock. So feel free to grab a mantra sheet. And we start with Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Let's get started. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Your turn. Gopala Govinda Rama. Louder. Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Your turn. Govinda. Louder, louder. Madana. There you go. Nice. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama why don't you clap? Nice. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 Hari bol, 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 Hari bol. Your turn. Hari bol, 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 Hari bol. Louder, louder. Let's do together. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. All together. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. 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 Louder, louder. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. 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 Two more times, two more times. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. 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 Let's do some more. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. 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 Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari on, last one. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Maybe one more. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Changing the mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Your turn. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One last time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol. So just doing a mellow one before I pass it to my dear friend to continue the chant. C, G, A minor, F. Thank you. All right, so we are going to start with Haribol Nitai Gaur, and then we switch to Maha Mantra, which is Hare Krishna mantra. Haribol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribol. I do this one 2 times. Haribol Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribol. Your turn 2 times, please. Haribol. Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribol, Haribol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol, your turn. Hare Krishna. Louder, louder. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol. Let's do together a few more. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, all together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Last one. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol and Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. And I now would like to invite Tadatmanadas, our dear friend, to come and chant for us. Haribol.
suppose that it's the same as that first chant of the hymns. It's the same chord.
Cool.
So it was pretty decent. Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya Nityananda,
Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya Nityananda,
Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya Nityananda. Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya Nityananda,
Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya Nityananda,
Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya Nityananda. Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya Nityananda, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya Nityananda,
Chaitanya
Chaitanya Nityananda Chaitanya Nityananda Chaitanya Nityananda Chaitanya Nityananda, Chaitanya, Nityananda, Chaitanya, Nityananda, Chaitanya, Nityananda. There's a nice story about these Chaitanya Nityananda names. Now it goes something along the lines of Lord Nityananda used to go out in the evenings with some of his followers, and his whole mission in life was to support Lord Chaitanya in his mission here in getting people to chant the names of God. So we, knowing that Lord Chaitanya is non different than Sri Krishna himself. So Lord Nityananda would go and knock on people's doors, and I've told this story before, but that's one of my favorite stories. And he would beg people to chant. He would say, "My dear friend, if you just chant the names of God once, if these Krishna's names once, or the name of Lord Chaitanya once, then you will make my life perfect." And sometimes he would arrive at the door of people who were rather nasty, opposed to chanting, basically from the, I guess, the atheistic bent. Yeah. So they wouldn't chant. So Lord Chaitanya would then plead them. He'd put his hands together and he'd beg. He would beg. He'd said, "Please, my dear friend, if you chant one time, you will make my life worthwhile." And they would continue not to accept. So anyway, to cut a long story short, he would go down to his knees and he would beg them. He would hold their feet and beg them with tears, genuine tears, knowing that in this age of Kali Yuga, if we're not fortunate enough to take to the chanting of the names of God, then our lives are pretty much useless. Yeah, we're lost. We're very. Yeah. So he was basically demonstrating the greatness of the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. And if they still refused, he would roll on the ground with crying in the dirt, and he would be dying. He'd feel like he's dying. "Please, my dear friend, just chant." He said, "If you chant the names of Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga, just one time, I will be your eternal servant." This is Lord Nityananda, Lord Balaram himself, who's not different than Krishna, begging at the feet of some scoundrel, and so ultimately, in that pitiful condition, a person would have to chant, but so I personally don't want Lord Nityananda to have to beg me to chant. I can't think of anything more horrific than such a great personality like that begging us to chant. Better if we just take it voluntarily, yeah? So when we're chanting the names of Gauranga and even Lord Nityananda, don't take it lightly. By the utterance, you can serve Lord Nityananda simply by chanting. Sometimes we're chanting and we don't know what to think of, right? We don't, we're enjoying the sound and we're resting in the sound, and that's fine, that's all there is to do. But you can take it a little bit further by remembering different pastimes of the holy names. And this is indeed a wonderful pastime of the holy name, where Lord Nityananda rolled in the dirt to beg some scoundrel to chant the names of his dear Lord Gauranga, dear Lord Chaitanya. So that's why we chant these sounds. One of the reasons we chant the names of Lord Chaitanya, to please Lord Nityananda. All right, without further ado, those of you that know it will do the third prayer of Lord Chaitanya. We sing this in English for you newbies, and if you know it, sing along. Otherwise, Just listen to the words. One should chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, feeling oneself to be lower than the straw in the street, devoid of all sense of false prestige, ready to offer all respects to others, and never desiring any respect in return. You're feeling more humble than a tree. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. So it helps us try and strive for that point of humility that makes our chanting worthwhile. If we're chanting with arrogance, thinking I'm going to get something or I'm a great holy person, forget it. You may as well not chant because you'll be offensive. It's better just to be very humble and realize that the chanting is the greatest benediction we have that has ever been bestowed upon us as human beings. One should chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, and feeling oneself to be lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy names of the Lord constant. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Matana Mohana. 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 Mia was asking me before, do you have any new chants, Ted? I've got some old ones. Okay, this is an old Filipino chant. It's kind of cool. It's got an Om Hari Om. It's got the Maha Mantra. It's got you can chant anything to it. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Hari Om, Om Hari Om. 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 Hari Om, Om Hari Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 No, it's all right. I was complaining to management before about the taste of the water here. They assured me that it was due to new filters, that they hadn't put plastic in it. Sometimes new filters have to gas off, I guess, or water off in that case. All right. I think we just got about 12 minutes to go or something, so we'll do our old usual. Put you all to sleep if we can. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Radharani, Shyama Sundar, Vrindavan, Haribo. Radharani, Shyama Sundar, Vrindavan, Haribo. Radharani, Shyama Sundar, Vrindavan, Haribo.
Radharani, Shyama Sundar,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Radharani, Shyama Sundar, Vrindavan, Hari Bol. 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 Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana, Mohana. 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 Radharani, Shyama Sundar, Vrindavan, Hari Bol. Radharani Shyama Sundar Vrindavan Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radharani Shyama Sundar Vrindavan Hari Bol. Radharani Shyama Sundar Vrindavan Hari Bol. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Haribo. I think that brings us to the conclusion of tonight's chanting. I'd like to thank you all very much for attending. And we're missing Jiva Krishna Das tonight and his lovely chanting. But hopefully he'll be back next week. He's just a little bit green around the gills today. So during the week, I don't know, there's all kinds of programs. If you link into the Facebook page or the web page for Gokula House. The flyer at the entrance, there you go. And yeah, that's what? Oh, yeah. Who was responsible for the dinner?
It was JT, wasn't it?
JT, yeah. Is he? And Beck said, was it for dessert, was it? My gosh. Okay, so Beck, and thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, it's always kind of nice to break it up with a little bit of food. Helps with the chanting afterwards. But yeah, just bear in mind there's programs all during the week, and if you want to link up to any of them, go into the Facebook, the pamphlet at the door, or the webpage. So that'll do us for tonight. Thank you very much. Namaste. Thank you for coming. Haribol. Krishna Krishna.